your name?
Danny.
Danny, do you wear a watch?
No.
Do you have any jewellery which comes off?
Yeah.
What have you got?
Necklace.
A necklace, perfect, thank you. And you're not planning on leaving before the second half for any reason? Okay, Danny, I'm going to use you. Can you see right in the middle of the stage, there's a big white card with a large mysterious question mark on it. Danny, on the other side of that card, there's a picture of an animal. And I will ask you in a moment to name an animal. You will find yourself naming the animal that's pictured on the other side of the card. You see, I like to start the whole persuasion process before I come out on stage. And ideally before you even come into the theatre, because if you don't know I'm doing it, it makes you more susceptible to it. Danny, did you notice any cryptic images of animals outside of the bar where you come in, where they're handing out the brochures? No. Shit. That's all right. You're not supposed to notice. This is good. Now, this will affect you a little bit differently because you're stood up and everyone else is sat down. But I will ask you in a moment to name an animal. You can't not name the correct animal. It doesn't matter if you change your mind over and over again, because ultimately it'll be the animal that feels right to you will be the animal that matches. I realise this might sound barking mad, being so sure that this will work, but it will work. I won't give you any sort of lead. It will just kind of work itself. Not only on you, Danny, also on your chums that you're sat with there as well, if they're of the same pedigree. So, Danny, give it some thought. There's a good girl. And when you... It's not a dog. It's not a dog or a cat or a monkey. I wouldn't be that obvious. But it is a land animal. Okay? A land animal. So not a fish or a bird. All right? A land animal. A 4-footed animal. All right? So, yes or no. It doesn't matter if you get it wrong. I won't be in a bad mood with you. So, it's not a cow. So yes or no. Yes or no, do you have an animal in your mind at the moment?
Yeah.
You do. Now, maybe you're thinking, oh, I've gone for one, everyone thinks of, everyone goes, you can change your mind. You can change your mind as many times as you like, all right? You don't have to, but if you want, this is when you can do it. So you know you have a chance to change your mind, all right? Do that if you want, or don't, stick with it, I don't mind. And then tell me, yes or no, have you got one now?
Yeah.
All right, then nice and loud so they can hear you right up at the back of the balcony. What's the animal you're thinking of?
A mouse.
A mouse. Not as many of you are sat there thinking, an elephant, correct? Yes, because this will affect you a little bit differently because you're sat down, she stood up. A mouse. Does that feel like a free choice to you?
Yeah.
It does. It doesn't just say on the monkey, be a good sport, please say mouse or anything else. It feels like a free choice, yeah? Danny's going to play quite an important part in tonight's show, so it's vital that you are all happy with the choice of Danny as a volunteer before we go any further. So if we just bring up the lights, we'll just turn and take a look at Danny for a second and... Cheers. I realise as we do this, I'm sorry, those of you upstairs, you're not going to be able to see Danny. I apologise for that. Although if you had just paid a little bit more, you might have been able to join in at this point. But bearing in mind, Danny was chosen by the third throw of the monkey quite fairly. Even if you can't see her, would you put your hand up if you are happy with the choice of Danny as a volunteer, please? Hands up if you're happy with Danny. Okay, it feels nice, doesn't it? Okay, just to be fair, hands up if you are unhappy with Danny for any reason. Please don't put your own hand up at this point, Danny. All right, well, barring about 3 of you, that's an overwhelming vote in your favour, Danny. So why don't you leave the monkey where it is and head up here on stage as quickly as you can. Up you come, Danny. Run, Danny, run. Let Danny through. Run, Danny. Here she comes. Run, Danny, run. That's walking slowly. That's not even a saunter. Hello, Danny. Very nice to meet you. Thank you so much. Would you come and stand over there by the mic for me? Okay, now look, I'm not going to go anywhere near that bit of paper, the card. I don't want you thinking I'm going to change it. Equally, I don't want you looking on the other side yet. But Danny, if you can just go and put your hand on the top of it, so when I tell you to, you can turn it around. Does that make sense? All right? So on the count of 3, I want you to turn it right the way around like that, so you can step back and it leans the other way against the table and they can all see what it is. Does that make sense? On the count of 3, here we go. 1, a mouse, remember? 2, 3. Turn it round. A mouse, ladies and gentlemen. Now, clearly, yes, clearly Danny has some kind of gift. Yeah, you call that psychic or you call that intuition. You are the judges, ladies and gentlemen. That is a mouse. No. That is a baby mouse with the little tits. I don't know what it is. It's not why you're up here, Danny. Come take a step back. It's not why you're up here. Okay, you're actually up here because of this briefcase on the table, all right? I'm going to give you this briefcase for the duration of the show, Danny. Your job is to bring the briefcase back in one piece at the end of the show, all right? Now, hang on. Hang on. There's a chain on top of the case, and hanging from the chain, you might not be able to see at the back, is a padlock. You can see that from here, yeah? If you look that way. Yes. Your job during the interval is to try and work out the combination on the lock, all right? So look, you can have a look at it so you can see it clearly. It's a combination lock. So look, very simple. You get a number in your head, you turn it to that number, all right? So you get a 14 in your head, you turn it to 14, yeah, or whatever the number is, and you'll need 3 of those numbers to open the lock, all right? So not a challenge to force it open, but I would like you to try and work it out. So if you grab the case for me, that's for you. Thank you. Also, it's just sat in an envelope. Can you grab the envelope too? and bring both of them over here to the microphone. Put the case down for a second, and you mentioned you wore a necklace, so can I just take that off you, or can you take it off easily? Okay. Bear with us. Thank you so much. Easy as that, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, it's very nice. It's a very nice, it's Elizabeth Duke, I think. Okay. I will give you the necklace back when I get the case back from you in one piece at the end of the show, Danny. All right? I realise that... Stay there. I realise it probably sounds a little untrusting. It is, frankly. I have toured with the show for 2 years, and ever since doing this in Newcastle, I can't be too careful. So I will hand the necklace to my trusty roadie, Stephen, who will look after it for the duration of the show. Thank you, Stephen. If you can come back to the mic for me. To the mic, thank you. Put the case down for a second. Now, before you go back, I'd like you to open up the black envelope for me. Inside is a folded sheet of paper. You need to open it up, and nice and clearly, you don't want to unfold it, but just read out what it says on the outside into the mic. Nice and clearly. Out loud, please.
I promise to look after the case and not to get drunk in the interval and leave it in the toilets. I take full responsibility for a rubbish ending to the show if I lose it. And I'm sorry, I laughed at your drawing.
Hang on.
I can see it was a...
I could see it was A. And the animal you said was a...
mouse.
And I can tell you this, you didn't change your mind, did you?
No.
You stuck with it. Open it up. What does it say?
A mouse.
Show them. Show them. A mouse. Ladies and gentlemen, a mouse it was. Danny, thank you so much. I will see you at the end of the show. Look, grab the case. I'll see you right at the end. Danny, everybody. One thing that really interests me about this fact that we are trapped inside our own heads, that we're the centre of our own world, is that we tend to think that problems in life are real and solid and permanent. The reality is, those same things, just viewed from a different perspective, can suddenly seem temporary and flimsy somehow. And Adam, you're really good at this. And every time I put you back into this sleep, you are going to go deeper, it'll be richer, it'll be more enjoyable each time that you do this. But for now, I want you just to slowly reorientate yourself back to the room. You'll feel yourself waking up, you feel that refreshment moving up through you. When you're quite ready, you can open your eyes and come back to us. Excellent. Thank you, Adam. All right, so let me show you this here. This is something you can all do with each other. You need to get yourself a box that you can put your hand through. I can just do it a little more quickly with Adam because I know he'll be very responsive to this. Adam, I'm going to put something in this box. I don't want you seeing what it is. So if you don't mind, just face the front and just close your eyes, just so you can't see. It's nothing unpleasant. It's a very ordinary household object. I just don't want you seeing what it is. Okay, Adam, you can open your eyes now for me, thank you. Can you put your hand flat on top of the box? Maybe take a sideways step towards it as well. Please don't look at what's in there, thank you. All right. So in a minute, I'm going to get you to lower your hand into the box and find the object. You will probably tell what it is pretty quickly, but it's not really about you identifying it. This is just about you paying attention to kind of the sensations that you get and how you interpret them, okay? So lower your hand in for me. Find the object. First question, how would you describe the temperature of that object?
Room temperature.
Room temperature,
Yeah.
good. And if you squeeze it, would you say it was sort of soft or hard or squidgy or?
Slightly plain.
Slightly
Well,
plain, okay.
hard, yeah.
Very good. Now you're lifting it up. Is it light or heavy?
It's light.
Can you tell what it is?
Apple.
It is indeed an apple. Great. So leave the apple where it is. Bring your hand out for me, Adam. That's great. Thank you. Hand by your side again. Would you close your eyes again for me, please? Just face the front. Thank you. Good. You're doing great. This time, I'm going to cover the front of the box so none of you see what it is. So you keep your eyes close to me as well. Good. Give me just a moment. You're doing great, Adam. Okay, you can open your eyes for me. Hand on top of the box again. This time, we'll do it a little bit differently, and I would invite you to join in with this if you like. I want you to think of something in your life, Adam. I won't ask you what it is. Something that makes you feel, something that feels like it's big and getting on top of you at the moment. Feels like it's weighing you down. You think of something? Good. All right. Now, whatever you're thinking of, if you run it through in your mind like a sort of a movie, as you sort of think it through to get those feelings, you'll notice you make that movie screen up here. You make it big and on top of you, which is why it feels like that, all right? Now, if you shrink that down to the size of an iPad, and then bring that down here instead, and take a look at it there instead, Adam. Now watch the same thing, but on that little screen instead. No longer feels like it's getting on top of you, because now you're on top of it. Same thing, but a very different perspective. In fact, as you watch it there now, you can start to feel a real feeling of stability and confidence moving through you. A very different feeling as you watch it. And that can expand up into your chest and shoulders. That's good. It can feel really good as you start to feel like a giant, towering above this thing that used to feel like a problem. As you feel like a colossus, towering above this stage. Good, solid and confident, that's good. Lower your hand into the box now and look at me, fingertips. All right, just with your fingertips, find the object. Just very gently. Try and keep looking at me as you do this. Find it in the middle there. First question, as you move your fingers along it, is what would you say it's made of? A guess.
Metal.
Metal, good. Now just get a sense of the shape of it, move your fingertips along it, perhaps you can tell what it is. What do you think?
Spoon.
A spoon. What sort of spoon, Adam?
Tablespoon, silver spoon.
Like a big one or a little one?
Little one.
Little like a teaspoon?
Yeah, teaspoon, yeah.
Teaspoon?
Yeah.
Great, okay, you leave that teaspoon where it is, then look at me, just bring your hand out, leave the teaspoon where it is, bring your hand out of the box. Good, excellent, lovely. Face the front, close your eyes again for me, just close your eyes. I'll show you all the teaspoon that he was feeling. I just don't want you seeing, so do keep your eyes closed. As he was feeling confident, feeling like a giant, this was the teaspoon that he felt. All right, you're doing great, just keep your eyes closed, me, Adam, but you are doing brilliantly. I'm going to cover the front of the box again so you can't see. I'll put one more thing in there. This is a slightly trickier object to get in, so give me just a moment with this one. Yeah, on. Okay, keep your eyes closed, it's a little longer, Adam. Open your eyes for me, hand on top of the box. This time, you're going to think of something that makes you feel warm and safe and cozy. Anything you like in life. Could be a person or a place or a memory or something that makes you feel nice and warm and safe and cozy. You got something? Okay. Whatever you're picturing there, just bring that image in a little closer. Make the colours all softer and fuzzier. That's lovely. Just keep that feeling there. And look at me again. Lower your hand into the box. Very gently this time. Absolute fingertips, all right? Absolute fingertips. Find the object. And then really gently, maybe let your hand move underneath it a little. Let it move onto your hand a little, get a sense of, would you say it's light or heavy? What would you say now?
Light.
Again?
Light.
Light, very good. Now, a more complicated shape this time, Adam, so take your time with it. You might be able to get a sense of what it is. If you take your time and feel the shape of it and the contours, what do you think it is?
Glove.
A glove?
Yeah.
What sort of glove? Like a woolly glove or a leather glove or
A woolly glove.
a little louder, please?
A woolly glove.
A woolly glove, great. You leave that woolly glove where it is then, please. Bring your hand out for me. Bring your hand out, very gently let it, good, lovely. Hands by your sides, close your eyes again for me. Thank you, and I'll show you all the woolly glove that he was feeling. I just don't want you seeing again. So, perhaps we can get that. So thank you, could you take that for me? Lovely, great, thank you. Open your eyes, face the front for me, good. Clearly an odd reaction for you, I realise. Thank you. Clearly they were seeing something there that you weren't seeing, I realise that. But I'm sure your friends will explain to you what happened when you join them again. Come forward for me. Point is, you're very good at this, Adam, right? And I'd like to give you this trance state as a gift. But this is going to happen in the interval, is that all right?
Oh, yeah.
Who are you with here tonight?
My mum and my sister.
Your mum and your sister, okay. What's your mum's name?
Christine.
Christine, all right, I might talk to her in a moment. Have you got a mobile phone on you at the moment?
I do.
Okay, I'm going to take that for a moment. I will give it to your mum in just a second as well. Thank you. All right, could you sit yourself up here for me? You happy to do this in the interval, yeah?
Yeah.
Great, lovely, okay. We'll look after your mum and sister. We'll get them a drink as well. We'll make sure they're taken care of. Just swing your legs around for me. And then, yeah, and then lay back as well. So we'll check the pillows in the right place and you're comfortable and just get yourself comfy. All right, and put your legs out. And good, now sit yourself straight back up. Happy get, lovely. So, so Adam, this trance state now we're going to do, it only exists for your benefit. It's the only reason for doing this. This is a completely private and personal thing for you now. Bring your finger up for me like this. Just point your finger, good. So in a moment I'm going to touch my finger to yours. When I do, your eyes will close. You'll go back into this trance state and your trance journey will begin. Are you ready? Good. I'll see you on the other side. Excellent, Adam. That's really good. Thank you. And Adam, you can now just sleep. And as you sleep, you can drift and sink back down that staircase. As you sink deeper, everything else happens 100 miles away. And just to make sure that your experience is really kept quite separate and private and detached, we're placing a sort of cocoon around you, just to make sure that your experience is kept quite separate as you sink deeper and deeper down into that trance state. And everything else happens 100 miles away as you continue down that staircase. That's really good.
So I can talk to all of you, and Adam can hear me. It just doesn't distract him as he sinks deeper down into his trance state. His mum, Christine, could you stand up for me? Where are you? Over there somewhere, I guess. Hi, Christine. So I'm going to ask you to draw a picture. There's a couple of things that are important, so please, I want you to understand this. First of all, it needs to be a drawing of something that is a real-world physical object, something you could actually touch, as opposed to just like a geometric shape or a design or something like that. Does that make sense? Okay. And if there's anything else that you just think that Adam might think that you personally would draw for some reason, then ignore that as well. All right. Can you think of something suitable now? Yeah? Perfect. All right. Whatever you draw, there's a guy with a pen and paper at the side there. When you've drawn it, Christine, can you write underneath what it is? Then you won't worry about how accurately you've drawn it as well. So write what it is, but don't let anybody see, including the guy with the pen and paper and none of the cameramen or anything like that either. When you've done it, remember, write underneath what it is and then seal it in an envelope. You should have an envelope there as well. Thank you, Christine. If you can go and do that for me now. Thank you. So while Christine's doing that, let me explain what's going to happen next. We're going to take an interval. If during this interval you would like to come up on stage in the second half, if you have a genuine interest in the possibility of mediumship, please bring yourself to the bottom of the steps on that side there. They will bring you up in the interval when it's safe to come up. When you do come up, take a look at Adam. He's sleeping quite soundly. And then come and sit yourself down. Did that give you enough time to draw your picture, Christine?
Yeah.
Great. Could you bring yourself up here for me? Thank you. Great. So first of all, I'm just going to give you Adam's phone. I just took off him up there, so you've got that. Thank you. And can you write your name for me? In big letters, you can lean on this if you like, but just right where you've sealed it, right across that join, so you know it can't now be tampered with, right across the joint. Thank you, Christine. Lovely, thank you. I'll put that there. Thank you, and you take his phone. Thank you. So come over here for me. Come and take a look at your son, who's sleeping quite soundly. There's a couple of things I need to ask you to do, and they're both really important, all right? First thing is, you have to keep that a secret. Now, no one saw what you drew, did they? No, great. So please keep it a secret. Don't even tell your daughter that you're with here as well. Absolute secret. The other thing is, every 2 or 3 minutes throughout the interval, can you please remember, in your head, just say to yourself, Adam, I drew a... And then whatever it is, as if you were kind of whispering in his ear what it was. But that isn't out loud. That is just silently in your head. But you must do it. Do you promise to do that, even though that sounds a bit odd? All right, lovely. Thank you. Well, there'll be an usher to take a drink order for you both, and we'll make sure you're taken care of. But thank you so much. And I'll speak to you in the second half. Thank you, Christine. So I'm hoping that while Adam sleeps, that he'll be able to intuit at some level what his mother has drawn and sealed into that envelope. That's really good, Adam. You can just continue to sink and drift down even more deeply into the sleep as you find yourself now in a beautiful garden. And as you lay on the grass, and as you feel the warmth of the grass beneath you, and then the fresh air as the breeze blows through the garden, keeping the temperature to the perfect level. And as you do this, I'm going to bring your hands up onto your chest, which will actually help you sleep even more deeply. So I'm going to bring them up here as you continue to sleep. Good. Thank you. Excellent. I just need to get to your stomach, so I'm just going to roll your t-shirt up a little as you sleep. I'm just going to bring this up here and tuck it in. Good. Thank you. Thank you. So I thought in this half of the show I would talk to you about some of my obsessions. 10 years ago, my father called me up to tell me he'd been diagnosed with cancer. And it turned out to be an early form of cancer. It was quite treatable, and 10 years later, he's fine. But at the time, I was quite shaken up by it. And I spoke to a few friends about it. And one girl that I spoke to, that I knew, said, you should take him to see the homeopath that my mum saw when she had cancer. He completely cured it. And I thought, a couple of things. First of all, I thought, yeah, your mum also had 6 months of chemotherapy, which you've just edited out of that story, but okay. And secondly, I know about things like homeopathy because they do interest me. There have been dozens of systematic reviews of all of the hundreds of tests that have been done on homeopathy over the years, proper tests. And we do know now for a fact that it doesn't work. We know that. The results are actually very clear, quite unambiguous. It doesn't work. It doesn't have any real effect. And I tried to nicely explain this to her, and she said, well, it is your dad, though. You could afford to be a bit more open-minded. Open-minded. Thank you. Stand it just there. Thank you. Stay still. Hold your hands out. Lovely. In the Philippines, if you have cancer, there's a form of treatment available to you where the surgeon, without using any instruments or any knives, uses psychic vibrations to enter the body of the patient. So you will feel, Adam, a little bit of poking here for a moment, and then all of this just happens 100 miles away. That's good. And removes from inside any cancerous tumors or demonized parts. You okay? Yeah. Thank you. Would you sit yourself back down again? Thank you. Of course, it's a conjuring trick. It's a really ugly scam called psychic surgery. And sometimes, rather like with homeopathy, sometimes people do get better, surprisingly, either because they were just going to get better anyway, or because of the placebo effect, which just means that for some people with low-level conditions, their belief that this is actually going to help is enough to create a genuine improvement, which is great for those people. But clearly not the same as saying that this is an effective treatment or something that you'd want to use instead of medicine that does actually stand up to testing, let alone anything, sadly, that's ever going to help cancer. But hey, got to be open-minded. Being open-minded, it doesn't mean just believing everything because you'd like it to be true. Being truly open-minded is about being prepared to change your beliefs based on the evidence or the lack of evidence. Otherwise, you can be so open-minded that your brain falls out. Hold that thought. Going to come back to it. Thank you, Adam. That's really great. I'm going to bring this back down now. And Adam, you can now take all the time that you need to completely and slowly wake up out of the trance. You will feel this refreshment move right the way through you, right the way to the top of your head. And when you're quite ready, you'll find that your eyes will open all on their own, and you'll be fully back with us. Take all the time that you need. Hello. Hi. Just want to sit yourself up. Take your time. Just slowly sit yourself up. Don't worry about any blood on the sheets. That's fine. Just up you go. Swing yourselves around. Just swing your legs around that way. Just pop yourself there for a moment. Let me get you some water. You've got a bit of a dry mouth. I can get a microphone as well. There you go. I haven't touched that one. There you go. Have that. Can I just get this in there? Can I just move your leg there for a bit? So look, you were great. What's it like coming out of it? It feels pretty good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Bit sort of spaced out, but it feels good, yeah? There's a bunch of people up here behind you, by the way. This is the second half of the show now. So great. Listen, one thing. Do you remember this box? We could bring this box out again from Adam. You remember you had your hand in this box before. So look, if you look through the front, it's important you look. You'll see there's nothing in there. And you can also see from the back there's nothing in the box, right? So put your hand flat on top for me, Adam. So look, there's nothing in there, right? But in a moment, you're going to lower your hand in. And as you do, I'm going to count from 1 to 5, and you will feel something inside the box. Something will come from the back of your mind down to your fingertips. You'll be able to feel it in the box. You'll be able to describe it to me. And you'll do a really good job of describing that to me. So here we go. Lower your hand in now as I count. Look at me. 1, 2, 3. There you go. 4. That's good. 5. So your first question, Adam, is this thing that you're feeling, does it feel like something living or something man-made?
Man-made.
Man-made. Okay, good. All right, so take your time with it now. I just want you to carry on just describing what sort of surface. Can you tell what it's made of? Is it like solid? Is it plastic? Is it furry? What kind of surface you're getting?
Like plastic.
Like plastic, okay.
Yeah.
Can you describe maybe its shape to me, or what you're sort of, what's it like?
Cylinder?
Okay, great.
Yeah. But not really cylinder.
Go on. So it's sort of cylindrical, sort of, yeah?
Yeah.
Go on, so keep going, keep talking me through it. What are you feeling, at the moment?
Spikes on the back. Or something like that.
So it's like cylindrical but with spikes.
It's got-
Can you recognise it as being anything?
Feels a bit like a plane.
Oh, like an aeroplane?
Yeah.
Okay,
But not
what?
like... Yeah, just like a... Yeah, toy plane when you were a kid or something.
Okay, well just, can you find the wings? Are there wings on it?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You're feeling them now?
Yeah, pointy things, yeah.
And so the spike, I guess, was like the tail fin
Yeah.
of the plane. So does it point at the other end? Is there like a nose to it
Yeah.
as well? Yeah, can you feel windows? I mean, are you feeling like...
No.
You're not getting windows, okay, but you're getting the shape of a plane. So you've got the nose at the other end.
Yeah.
Do have a look at it as you're doing this, because it's really interesting. If you look at it, you'll see there's nothing, you know there's nothing there, I'm sure, but you can see, what's that like?
Weird, man.
And you can all see from the back, there is nothing, you can see there's nothing in there. So is there anything else, or is it just an aeroplane?
No, I can just feel an airplane.
Okay, all right, well, why don't you leave the aeroplane mode? Just bring your hand out for us. That's great, Adam. Thank you. Yeah. So look, while you were asleep, your mum drew a picture and has been sending this to you sort of mentally, telepathically through the interval. Before we get too excited, it probably won't be an aeroplane, but there should be a good connection between the two. So it might be something to do with travel, it might be something like a car, or a lorry or a bus or something like that. We'll have a look and see what it is. But I chose your mum rather than your sister here as well, because you'll have the longest connection with your mum. So we'll see. Do you want to... Oh, Christine, you didn't tell anybody what this was, did you? No, great, okay. I'll let you have a look first, but I'm quite intrigued to see what this is. Maybe you can show the camera as well. Ooh, wow. That is absolutely spot on. Well done. Let me just show the camera again. That is an aeroplane. I'll show you back there as well. That is definitely an aeroplane. Thank you, Adam and Christine. Just there, and turn and face me. Turn and face me, Matt. All right. Now listen, a couple of things are going to happen very quickly here. Just look up into the palm of your hand. Just start to feel your eyes getting a little heavy around now. That's good. And as I touch you on the hand, your eyes just close. And then as the hand comes down, you can just sink and tumble and fall right the way down, right the way deep, right the way sound asleep. I want the rest of you to take a look at his feet. You see, Svengali feet don't move. These are locked into place. In the same way, Matt, you can think about your right foot now, and you can just let him, as you think about it, just take hold of that right foot. And as he does that, that right foot just locks into place. Your left foot, you can move. You can do what you like with your left foot. In fact, if you try and take a step forward, you find you don't get very far because you can only move one foot. You can move the left foot, but the right one just locks. That's good. As soon as you try and move it, it just locks even tighter. That's very good. Now let's bring this left foot back, and now he takes that foot as well, and now both feet stick. Both feet now stick into the floor. If you try and unlock either foot, they just keep on pressing. The more you try, the more they stick, the more they just root down into the stage. That's very good, Matt. And when I touch you on the head in a moment, you can open your eyes, because you're not hypnotized, so you can open your eyes and look at me. I'm going to touch you here on the throat in a second. When I do, your throat and vocal cords are going to stick. You'll find that you can't talk. If you look at the doll, he can't talk. You see, his mouth doesn't even move. That's why he needs the alphabet board to tap out his answers. His mouth doesn't even move. When I touch you here, your throat and vocal cords will stick. When you try and say a word, nothing comes out. And that happens, look at me, now. Now, if you try and say something, anything you like, you see, the more you try. So you can hear him breathe, he can make, but if he tries to say a word, nothing happens. How does it feel? And if you think about your right hand at the moment, Matt, that is locked into place, you see? Keep your eyes open. I want you to see what's going on here. If he tries to move that right arm, if he tried to bring it up like this, nothing happens. If he tries to move it of his own accord, nothing happens. It just locks there. Yet, when I ring the bell, the doll's right arm comes up. Watch what his right arm does. And it'll lock into place if he tries to force it down on his own. Nothing happens. It just locks tighter. That's good. You see, Matt, you can try, but it just locks. Yet, when I ring the bell again... That's very good, Matt. Excellent. And now I just want you to close your eyes and just relax and sink down into that sleep state. That's good. Nice and deeply. Very good. Now we're going to bring in a chair behind you. I'm going to pop you back in this chair. That means he's going to release the tension. You can relax so you can sit straight back down. There's a chair right behind you. That's very good. Excellent. Let's just wheel you around here. You're doing very good. Your eyes can remain closed and you can just sleep nice and deeply for me as I talk to the audience. So a lot of this was really interesting to me, but it could be explained. It could be explained through suggestion. Namely, that if the subject, like Matt here, can see the doll's arm coming up, for example, that his unconscious mind knows to copy it. What was really interesting to me is where similar things would happen, but where the subject couldn't see the doll, so it couldn't be explained through suggestion. So at the moment his eyes are closed, I want you to sit up nice and straight for us, Matt. Can't see anything that's important, his eyes are closed. All right, Matt, it'll seem like an odd question to you, I'm sure, but if you felt any poking or tapping, I need you to just raise one arm up in front of you. Just as a clear signal. Good. Okay, that's going to be your signal from now on that you can feel this. But actually, just while you're doing that, just bring that arm up. Just show us exactly where you felt it. Let me just check this. Excellent. Very good indeed. Okay, so we'll do it again. Each time that we do this, I want you just to signal to the audience when you feel it. It'll be in a different place and a different feeling now when we do it. That doesn't matter. Just a nice, clear signal to the audience. Just raise one arm straight up, clearly in the air, out in front of you, the moment that you feel this here. Very good. Excellent. Raise your hand when you feel this here. Very good. And it wasn't just a question of these simple demonstrations of a physical rapport that springs up between the doll and the subject. This got taken to a level that became too much for the Catholic Church. In 1873, they exorcised Svengali, which is extraordinary. It's the only time in the history of the Catholic Church that a doll has gone through the entire ritual of exorcism reserved for a human being, and it was for precisely the demonstration that I will show you now. Okay, that's very good, Matt. Let's just put you right there. And I'm going to give you a couple of things to hold on to. Thank you very much. Now, this is a blackboard, so if I rest that there, you can bring that arm up and just hold on to that there for me. That's very good. Excellent. That can stay just there for me. And in your other hand, a piece of chalk. Let me give you that. You can just grip hold of that. Lovely. Now, you can leave your arm just where it is, but just pay attention now to the feelings in your left arm and your left hand as the doll takes full control. You'll start to feel little movements and tugs and twitches in the arm that don't come from you, but it can just remain where it is for the moment. The rest of you, included in the sale of the doll, were a couple of other items of significance. In particular, this handkerchief here. Now, I will show this to you. Please don't say anything out loud. Obviously, he can't see anything, but I don't want him hearing either. The initials on the corner of this handkerchief are... that. So paying attention now to the feelings in that left arm and that left hand, Matt, as the doll starts to take control. That's good. The left arm, always known as the devil's arm, always used for any kind of possession writings. Although it's probably right-handed, we use the left arm. The word sinister comes from the Latin for left-handed. It has a long history of association with the occult. When I ring the bell in a moment, Matt, the doll will bring your arm up and across to the board, and he will write through you just the first of those two initials, nice and clearly on the board. Svengali, would you please write for us, through Matt, the first of the two initials on the board, nice and clearly. Would you do that for us now? Very good. That's very good indeed. Let's do this again. Svengali, would you please write for us, through Matt, the second of the two initials? Do that for us now. Excellent. That's very good. And now the doll relinquishes all control. He lets go of you. Now you will feel a change happen. You'll feel a shift Inside you, you'll feel a weight lifting from you. You'll feel your limbs relaxing. Your throat will open up. You'll feel that weight shifting from you. When you're quite ready to come back to us, you'll be able to open your eyes. Thank you, Matt. Let me just take this from you. So you wrote there, I think that's a D and an S. Now, or at least your arm wrote that. What did that feel like? Did it feel like you were moving your own arm?
No, it felt really, really weird. Like I lost control of it, and I was sort of trying to fight it, but it was just drawing my hand to the board, and it felt really shaky, like I couldn't write properly. Against your own will,
you were trying to stop it?
Yeah.
Stand up for me. Let me show you what happened. So yes, you wrote a D and an S, all right? Now, if you just come and stand here for me, facing the front. This is a 200-year-old lady's handkerchief, so they would use this in the act. They said that it was Fond du Lavache's childhood sweethearts. Probably wasn't true, but there are 2 initials on it. Can you read those initials?
DS.
D and an S. You all right?
Yeah.
Okay, this is the room where we're going to play it.
Okay.
These are fixed remote control cameras around the room.
Mm-hmm.
This here is bulletproof glass. You're going to be sat behind this for some of the time. All right?
Okay.
This is the table. Before you sit down, I want you to check under the table there are no hidden cameras. Do that for me now.
No, that's good.
All right, have a seat for me, thank you. James, can I ask you to verify we have not spoken since you agreed to play the game?
No, we haven't.
And you spent some time with the armourer, who's taken you through everything again, and also explained this to you.
Yeah.
This shield.
Yeah.
Can you explain what this is? This is a shield we've had made. When you load a bullet into a revolver, you can see along the side here and at the front where the bullet lies, in which chamber it is. We've had this shield made, which fits onto the top and stops either the camera or me from accidentally seeing where the bullet is. Are you happy with that, and you're happy that's all the shield does?
Yes.
Yes?
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to bring the armourer over.
Gentlemen, these are live rounds. Please cover your ears. James, select a round, stand it there.
Thank you. Thank you. Our armourer will now leave, along with our cameraman, for safety reasons. The rest of this will now be filmed using these remote control cameras. Okay, aside from you and me, now this room is empty. Also want you to know we are going out live at the moment. And also, James, I've signed a disclaimer. I've signed a form that absolves you from any legal responsibility for this, all right? Also, morally, you are not responsible for this. It's my decision to do it, and I'm responsible for it, okay?
Okay.
If it fucks up, it's not your fault, all right? Pick up the gun. Take the gun under the table. Can you see the numbers?
Yes.
Okay, move it around a bit, familiarise yourself with the numbers, make sure you can see them clearly. I want you to choose one of those numbers. You keep that number to yourself, but have a look at them now and choose one. This number you choose now, it doesn't matter which one it is. You can change your mind as many times as you like, but you make that decision for me and you settle on a number. Are you thinking of one now?
Yeah.
All right, you need to repeat that number to yourself over and over again, quietly in your head. Fix that number in your mind. Pick up the bullet. You're going to place that bullet into the number chamber you were just thinking of. As you do it, keep your fingers away from the trigger. Do that for me now. Put it in. Check as it goes in. Double check that it's going in the correct chamber, the one that you're thinking of. Is it going in the correct one?
Yes, it is.
All right, lock that number into your mind. Keep your fingers away from the trigger. Keep the gun pointed down at the floor. Feel free to move the cylinder around a bit. You can move it as many times as you like or spin it, whatever you like. Whenever you're ready, close the cylinder, snap it shut, make sure it's closed. Keep saying that number to yourself, James. It's very important you remember it.
Okay.
All right, pick up the shield. In the way the armourer has shown you, and keep your fingers away from the trigger. As you do this, you're going to place the shield now onto the gun. Keep your fingers away from the trigger. It's okay, take your time.
Yeah, it's locked in.
Is it on?
Yeah.
In the way the armourer has shown you, again, without pointing the gun directly at you, I want you to check that you can't see where the bullet is, neither from the side nor from the front. Happy with that?
Yep, can't see it.
Great. Place the gun on the table for me. All right. That's the hard part over for you. All you've got now in your mind is a number between 1 and 6. You need to lock that number in your mind so tightly now, all right? Just take a minute to do that for me now. Otherwise, with the pressure of all of this, it will slip your mind over and over again to yourself, all right? It's a number between 1 and 6. That's all this is now. In a moment, I'll get you to count from 1 to 6. As long as you can do that, you're absolutely fine.
Okay.
Okay, behind me is the bulletproof glass. Behind that's a chair. You're going to go and sit in that chair for your own safety when I tell you to. The chair is bolted to the floor. You must not move out of the chair. You must stay in the chair, all right?
Okay.
Whatever happens, you don't move, and whatever happens, you do not try and stop me. Don't call out, don't try and stop it, all right? If I'm not 100% confident, I won't do it, I won't pull the trigger.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
I'd like you to go and sit in the chair. There are ear protectors on the chair, just put them on your lap for now, you won't need them quite yet. You sat in the chair?
Yep.
Can you see me in the gun?
Yes, I can.
James, I'm going to ask you in a moment to count from 1 to 6. I'm only going to ask you to do this once. You need to count clearly and slowly and loudly so I can hear you. From 1 to 6. Listen, very important as you count. Don't give me any clues. Don't try and help me. If you try and help me, James, it will confuse me. And it's really important I'm not confused. Does that make sense?
Yes, yeah, it does.
All right. When I say go, just take a little while. Just take a moment just to take a breath and relax. And then count from 1 to 6. Loudly, clearly, and slowly. And take a breath first. Go.
One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to set the gun to a chamber that I feel is safe. That's number 3. Number 3, I feel is safe. Each time that I pull the trigger, the chamber will rotate 1 round. So I'm going to start by firing number 3, which I feel is safe, and then 4, then 5, then 6, and then 1, and then 2. Number 3, I feel is safe. James, will you put your ear defenders on? Number 3, I feel is safe. Number 4, I feel is safe. Number 5. stand up. Thanks.